Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors at Trillium. A friend of mine recently went to an escape room game. An escape room is a place where they lock you into a room and they give you an initial clue, and that clue leads to other clues that ultimately allows you to escape the room. That's why it's called an escape room game. What makes escape room games particularly challenging is there's also a clock running. Sometimes 45 minutes, maybe an hour, at the most 90 minutes, depending on how challenging the escape room is. So you've got this clock ticking away as you're trying to figure out the solution to the puzzle. And that puts extra pressure on the players. And it got me thinking that a lot of games have time limits on them. I've watched a lot of football games, and all football games have a time limit on them. And often at the end of the game, there's the losing team is coming back. They're trying to make the score that will win them the game, but they just run out of time. Chess, competitive chess, is a game as much against the clock as it is against one's opponent. You might be winning the game of chess, but if you run out of time, you lose. I think it's pretty obvious to most of us that time is a bit different than other things. The tangible world, we can put our hands on it. We can touch it. We can put our hands around a hammer, and we can know what it feels like. But how does one hold time? In fact, what is time? Philosophers don't have a working definition of time. Scientists don't have a definition of time either. It's truly a mystery to us. And yet, how we manage our time is probably the key indicator to our success in life. Probably more important than our intelligence or our natural ability is our ability to manage time effectively. Now, I'll admit to you, I don't think I'm really that good at managing my time. I'm constantly distracted in my life, especially in this world we live in, with cell phones and computers and all the technology around us. It's so easy to be distracted, to be misled in our use of time. At Trillium, we believe that God calls us to be instruments of divine love to the world, to others. And that means that we also are called to be good stewards of our time, that we prioritize our time around the practices of love in life. If we don't, then we're going to end up using our time for everything but love. We'll be using it on all what I call the unlove of life. We'll be following the pathway that leads us away from love, and we won't have the resources necessary to be that instrument of love in life that God calls us to be. It means that I think that being good stewards of our time is an essential characteristic to love. As I've mentioned the last few weeks, life is about relationships. It's all about relationships. We have a relationship with everything, with people, with things. We even have a relationship with ourselves. We might even have a relationship with time itself. And that means we need to be very intentional about how we use our time, especially in this distracted world. I think going forward, I'm going to work harder at stewarding my use of time, managing my use of time, to be a more careful and responsible manager of my use of time in life for the purposes of love, to give myself the resources to love others in life. So that when those little moments of opportunity come to me that I can savor love, I'll have the time for it. And when someone goes by who's hurting, I'll have the time to care for them. And when someone goes by me in life and they need my hand of assistance to help them, I'll have the time for that. I think in the end, God really is calling me to see past myself, which means I need to become a more careful practitioner of my use of time. And I suspect not only does God want me to see past myself, I suspect that God also wants you to see past yourself.